Hello, this is Let Me Know How It Is, a podcast about all things geek. Tonight, we recommend some of our favorite current cartoons. If you're a new listener, welcome. We thank you for being here. We release new episodes every Wednesday. Thanks for listening. All right, guys, we're discussing our favorite animated programming currently running. So hopefully you guys out there are watching and enjoying some of the things that we'll bring up. And if not, and if you're looking for something new to watch, you should have a bunch of recommendations you can check out. I'm Zack Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
This is Tommy Smithereens.
And I'm Clifton.
All right, guys. What are you watching right now?
I know I'm going to say something that no one's watched because it's on the most hated, let me say hated, the most underspread streaming site that no one has got. I
didn't know Quibi had animation.
Oh no, Quibi's dead. Quibi's dead. I'm talking about CBS Access.
Ah, yeah.
I enjoyed Star Trek Lower Decks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's something that I didn't think we needed, but it's something that should have occurred a long time ago. I'm not sure. Are any of you aware of Lower Decks right now?
I've heard of it. Is it? The first question I have is: it set within the animated universe they've already established in the 60s or 70s?
Actually, it's set, I would say, a year or two after, or a few years after Next Generation TNG.
Okay, but it's not like what I'm saying is like some of the stuff that they introduced in the animated, the old Filmation ones, the one that where some of them voiced it. It's not the same thing, right?
Yeah, no. Well, it's not like that.
Okay.
It's like it's a parody of Star Trek, but it's still canon. It's like if Star Trek made a comedy show in which everything came before it is canon.
Okay.
And they make fun of the tropes, the things you come to expect, certain races, anything that you can think of. It's a deep dive into Star Trek, but at the same time makes it fun and engaging for new people. It all takes place upon a ship that does second contact, not first contact. Second contact.
So they come in after they met an alien race.
Exactly. They're the ones that do the paperwork, set them up, that type of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And after that, that's all I'm telling you.
Okay.
What's the name of the ship?
Wow, you just threw me under the bus. I can tell you the names of the people, everyone but that. Oh my gosh. I can't believe you did that.
I figured it would have like a funny name or something.
Oh no, yes. It's not really a funny name, but geez, I just because I'm thinking about all the people, what they went through, and the last thing on my head is in my mind is the ship. But the ship, oh my goodness. But no, I definitely recommend Star Trek Lower Decks.
Our engineer put in the notes saying USS Cerritos.
Yes, Cerritos. Thank you. Yes. USS Cerritos.
Engineer with the save, as always.
Yeah. Indeed. Thank you.
So this has got some Family Guy pedigree, right? Is it Family Guy or is it Rick and Morty?
More Family Guy than Rick and Morty. Because
I know somebody from one of those shows is basically like the showrunner, executive producer of Lower Decks.
Actually, no, I take that back. Right. It's Rick and Morty, but it doesn't feel like Rick and Morty at all.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a little bit like the Orville or no?
See, I haven't seen the Orville.
Okay. Because for a while, I mean, it's not animated, but that was a show that was basically scratching that Next Generation itch for me.
Okay.
That I didn't know I had. So that's why when you said it was something you didn't expect to get, I had the same situation with the Orville, where it was kind of like it was close enough, and still there was stuff in it where you're like, okay, I can see the influence of Seth MacFarlane on it, but still, it's basically an homage to TNG.
Yeah. Well, just say Star Trek because they do way more than TNG references.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It sounds cool. I've wanted to see it. I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because no one has CBS Access.
No,
yeah.
That's what
that is true.
They did put the first episode on YouTube. I remember when it launched.
Okay.
Which I had ready to watch. I just never got around to it. But I did see the trailers and stuff like that, and I thought it looked funny.
Yeah, if you've seen an entire season of Star Trek, you'll understand what's going on here.
Okay, I've done that.
Good.
I made the prereq for the class. I'm good.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Cool. All right. So what else is out there?
Anyone see Solar Opposites? Since we're on the Rick and Morty tangent,
I've not seen that either yet.
This is the TBS show.
It's Hulu. This one's on Hulu. Is it
It's
on
on Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. It was on TBS. I forgot completely that they aired it on TBS. You're 100% correct. In which it was supposed to be a Rick. They had Roland Martin as I think that's his name, Royland Martin.
Justin Roiland.
Justin Roiland. Why say Roland Martin? Why didn't you sound that for me? Wow.
Who?
But Solar Opposites, it's okay. I watched the whole season of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did no one see that either?
Nope.
I know you recommended it to me. I just haven't got to it because again, there's 1,800 different streaming services, and I'm not paying for every streaming service to watch one season of one thing.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Yeah. So no, I haven't seen it yet. I want to, but I haven't seen it yet.
Nah, this one's definitely Rick and Morty-ish.
What's the premise?
The premise is two aliens. Is it two? Let's say 4 aliens come to Earth, looking to make Earth into their new world because their new world exploded.
Okay.
And they're trying to assimilate to customs and society, but they do it in their own unique way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I can say without spoiling like premises and ideas and things of that nature.
So it's Coneheads.
Oh no, it's 100%. It's 100% Coneheads. Yes,
And the
Yes.
Neighbors from a few years back.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
yes.
Okay. But not.
Right.
No, but it is. It's what 2020 Coneheads.
But still
Yeah,
is.
It still is. I can't even lie.
Okay.
It definitely
okay.
is.
All right. Okay.
Oh,
I'm not. I like Coneheads. I'm not making fun of the sketch or the movie. I'm just saying that's what it sounds like to me immediately. Like, oh, Coneheads. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, the argument is they kind of disagree or agree on whether it's awful or awesome, which is America.
Okay.
Like somebody
Okay.
will do something and it's awful to one, while just the best thing ever to the other one.
I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're sticking with it, Tommy, or you've tried it out only?
I'm sticking with it because
Okay.
it's the backstories are more disturbing than the main stories of the aliens. What goes on as a result of what they do? Because, like, okay, this is a spoiler, very very subtle spoiler. One of the aliens, to make it easier to deal with people, shrinks them, and when he shrinks them, he just takes them and puts them in what's like an ant farm to people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a whole nother story of all the people he shrunk in this ant farm like environment in which they have to fend for themselves.
Okay.
And it's disturbing,
Like the
Oh,
Bottle
wow.
City of Candor.
but horrific.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I love you guys' tangents. It's so much easier. I can tell you the premise and you're like, yeah, that's this. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Definitely Candor. If Candor was like a hell dimension.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah. 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 Superman coming down to,
Which I can't believe nobody's written that story, to be perfectly honest, at this point. But
Well, don't we get that? What is in the Brave and Bold episode where Superman's a jerk and shakes the bottle?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. If it could
a
only
good
be
one.
that simple. Yeah, you're right. No.
Yeah.
And you hear the tiny screams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yes.
That
Hilarious gag. Funny gag.
this backstory would be the camera when he shakes it and you see them people dying and setting on fire and all that stuff. Yeah, that would be the backstory.
Gotcha. So it's a nice take on the interplanetary zoo, although horrific.
Not interplanetary, just
Okay.
yeah.
Well, to them, I'm saying to them it would be.
No. A lot of stuff they use, it's like basically it's if the atom can never shrink back or Ant-Man can never be normal size, how much it would
Okay.
suck.
Okay.
Yeah. How dangerous little objects are in your house. Should never own a hamster, all that type of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yes. Just little things like
Gosh. All right.
I'm watching Craig of the Creek.
that.
I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
Craig of the Creek.
That's a great one.
Okay. I've not started that one yet.
Yeah. Oh, it's so innocent,
What's it about?
So Craig of the Creek is on Cartoon Network currently. That's where you can find it. And basically it's our childhood growing up. We're like after school we went out and played with a bunch of friends.
Okay.
Right? And so they go to the creek, which is like in their neighborhood. That's where all the other kids like kind of congregate and do things. But they've also like kind of created this world where they can exaggerate on things right?
Okay.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it does.
And so there's a flexibility with that world, right? So there's like the first episode that I saw is Craig is mapping out the creek area, right? Like he wants to make a map for it. And there's a section in the creek that nobody has been to because it's like it's this giant like poison ivy patch.
Okay.
Right? And so they're like, what's in the center of that? Like, we don't know. No kid's ever been there.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And so it's like stuff like that. And Tommy, I know you're watching a ton of the show too. But what's interesting about this show is that I know that Ben Levin, one of the creators of the show, grew up around here.
Okay.
Like where we record.
Where some of us grew up.
Yeah. And like you can see it because I'm watching it like the show and some of the background designs. Like I can see houses that were like the same houses that like friends of mine grew up in.
Okay.
Like in friends' neighborhoods. I'm like, I know exactly what that house looks like. Like, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing again to like it to another show that was actually live action and animated was My Name is Earl. Same sort of thing where the guy was I can't remember his name. The guy Greg somebody.
Right.
Who came up with the show.
Greg Garcia,
thank you. Was local to here. And the same thing where he would talk about Frederick every once in a while. I think one episode they were looking for Burt Reynolds at a fair or something, and they were talking about Frederick, and they talked about Cumberland.
Yeah.
And they talked about all these places around here that was, it was better than like the X-Files that would show you nothing that looked like Virginia. It would at least resemble sort of what the place, those places would look like. So I was like, I thought that was funny. But that's cool.
Yeah.
I again, there's another one that you recommended, Zach, that I wanted to check out, but haven't had a chance to.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fantastic, and they have like, just so many different like the elders are a group of like young like tweens that play Dungeons and Dragons basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And there's like all kinds of stuff like that where you're gonna encounter everything, and they sort of like extrapolate and exaggerate like you get jinxed, and so you can't talk.
Okay.
Right? You know what I mean? And they'll base an entire episode around that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, that's a strict rule.
Yes. Yeah.
Can't violate that.
Well, and then on top of that, they have representation. Like the Witches of the Creek, they're basically like a lesbian couple that's goth, but they don't see them that way. They just see them as witches that can put spells on them or curse them or whatever. Yeah.
And there's the green cloak.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like the mythology around him and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's such a sweet, fun show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything's through the eyes of a kid, and when you see it, it's like you love the innocence that they create.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's one episode where there's a girl from another dimension, but she's not really from another dimension. She's homeschooled. But to them, she's in
I remember that one.
She's in another dimension.
A great one.
Yeah. So you don't go to school at home? Yeah.
There's another really good one that I forget what they're doing. They're about to do something, and then you hear Craig's like stomach growl, and then his eyes like go wide, and he's like, "We have to go to your house right now."
Yeah.
Right? And then they're like, well, what's the matter? And he goes, can't you go to yours? He's like, no, there's no time. It's got to be your place.
Yes. That was good. That was really good.
So is it similar to Phineas and Ferb, or is it its own thing?
In premise of how they congregate with one another, Phineas and Ferb, but it's not agenda based. Anything can happen at the creek. It builds off the premise of after school, you hang out with your friends by the creek, and whatever happens at the creek is what you get into.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like my second grade.
Yes.
There tends to be an explanation to the exaggeration.
Yes.
In Craig of the Creek, whereas Phineas and Ferb is just completely fantastical.
Yes.
Okay. That's what I figured it was. Yeah. I wasn't sure, but that's what I thought the difference between the two was.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. It's one is anything can happen. The other is it's just the child take on what's happening.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And the synopsis on Wikipedia does say it's in a fictional suburban Baltimore/DC area town of Hurkleton, Maryland.
Yes.
Hurkleton, Maryland.
Sounds right.
There's designs in the background too. Like there's maps in the background too. It's like, like the Maryland parks and stuff like that. Like I've seen. And yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds
It's cool. I would love to get Ben Levin on the show if we could ever it's like track him down sometime. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I started just watching, and I'm a little late in the game to this one, but it's Kipo and the Age of the Wonder Beasts on Netflix.
That was nice. I only saw
but I'm not as far behind the game as I thought I was, because somehow this show only premiered earlier this year, and season 3 has already run.
Oh, wow.
So they did 3 seasons just in 2020 alone. In January was season 1, in June and July was season 2, and then October was season 3. I'm only just at the start of season 1. But I mean, the show, like in the first couple episodes, blew me away.
Okay.
The setting is that it's a couple hundred years in the future after some sort of apocalyptic event. And I'm early in the show, so I don't know if this stuff's been revealed yet. But we follow a girl named Kipo who is expunged from like a subterranean world that we don't see yet into the surface world.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of an accident. Like she shoots out of a sewer drain, and then the sewer drain like collapses behind her, so she can't get back home.
Okay.
And then it's her on this surface world that's just like an apocalyptic wasteland of a city where all the buildings are collapsed and everything's overgrown back to plants and forests, like on top of this like rubble of skyscrapers. And there's giant like mutant animals and stuff out there in the world.
Yes.
And she doesn't have any clue, because she had always lived in a safe burrow city her whole life where everything was safe and civilization was easy. And now she's up in the surface world and doesn't know how anything works and doesn't know what anything is. But like, the backgrounds in this show are beautiful. Like every background painting is so gorgeous where you just see like the plants over this rubble and debris and collapsed buildings, and it looks so nice. And another thing is the action. It has some of the best, like most kinetic, like energetic animation I've seen in anything. It's done by DreamWorks Animation, who does a lot of, great shows for Netflix too, like Voltron and She-Ra, also produced by them, and a lot of great action in both of those. But there's just something about like some of the chase scenes, some of the action stuff in this show. And a lot of it's not even that like high stakes. I'm like, it's like kids riding a bike through the city. And like somehow they just put so much energy into the animation. And then the third thing that blows me away about it is their use of music.
Yeah.
Is their soundtrack is phenomenal in how it works with the animation, how it works with the action, how it works with the scenes and sets moods. And it's not just one type of music. In the first couple episodes, you've got in some of the chase scenes, you had sort of like a world electronica type style.
Okay.
In others, a hip hop. In one, there's like an old Motown sound.
Yeah.
Like it just blows me away, like the diversity of what they choose for the scenes and how it always works. But like I said, I'm only a few episodes into season 1, which only premiered earlier this year, even though I think it is only a 3-season show and has run its course.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to watch as much of it as I can, as fast as I can.
Was this like an acquisition that they got somewhere else, or is this produced for them?
It's produced for them. It's from the creator.
Radford Seacrest or Seacrest?
Yeah, Radford Seacrest is the name of the creator of the show. But it's a lot of the producers. Bill Wolkoff was another producer on it, but Chuck Austin, who is credited at the end credits as Chuckles Austin. But it's Chuck Austin who's been around in the industry for a long time. I think it's one of the situations where they team up, younger showrunners, younger producers with an older veteran to just kind of help out with some other stuff that the younger creators might not be, well versed in yet. And Chuck Austin has been doing this a lot because he did it on Steven Universe. He did it on She-Ra.
Yes.
So, and now he's doing it on Kipo. So he's a mentor on a lot of these shows, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, this wasn't an acquisition. This was a Netflix own produced show from DreamWorks Animation.
He's got a good portfolio though too, because those are 2 other really, really good shows. Steven Universe and She-Ra are really good.
It's a long way from his X-Men days, if you remember his run on X-Men.
Yeah.
and his monumental tour de force on War Machine.
Right.
Right.
I was about to say, it also mentions that, what's his name? Radford Seacrest or Saycrest? I'm probably butchering his name.
Yeah, I've only ever seen it written too.
He was a storyboard artist for Ben 10 Ultimate Alien.
Okay. Yeah,
oh, really?
He's got some great action instincts, man. His stuff is so good.
That's when I was watching Ben 10 was the Ultimate Alien stuff. Alien Force and Ultimate Alien when they aged him up the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. It was fun. But no, that sounds cool. I've never watched any of these episodes, but I mean, you're selling me on the show hard. Like I want to check it out now.
Yeah, I was just going to say one of the cast members, the main voice actress who plays Kipo is Karen Fukuhara, who is also on Craig of the Creek and is also on The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Oh, that's her?
Yep, she does the voice for Kipo.
Because she says nothing on The Boys.
Right. She signs. She signs on The Boys, but she has no spoken lines on The Boys.
Oh, she plays what's her name?
The female.
Kimiko.
Yes.
Kimiko.
Yes.
Yeah. Kimiko. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
And she's Sewer Queen and Alexis on Craig of the Creek.
Ah. Okay. Cool.
Very cool.
I mean, I was surprised that they got Dion Cole to voice a character on that show.
Mm-hmm. And Sterling K. Brown is also a voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's great.
Yeah, I was very impressed from what I've seen on the show. And like I said, I was a little behind the times because I had seen a lot of people talking about it online all year. But it's definitely worth the buzz it's been getting.
Cool.
All right, so what else is out there?
Got something. I mean, it's been out for a while. It's not something that's fairly new, but it's just one of those shows that I finally got a chance to watch all of and I really enjoyed, which would be Harley Quinn on HBO Max.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. It's one of those, I was very skeptical of the fact that we needed a Harley Quinn show just because I've been kind of underwhelmed by the Harley Quinn stuff that we got outside of the comics.
Right.
I felt like Harley Quinn was a little overexposed outside of in the comics and kind of outside. I didn't really, care for Birds of Prey. I didn't really like it. I thought it was Suicide Squad was just okay. And then when they announced that they were doing an animated, I thought, well, I'll give it a shot eventually. And it was one of those things where I remember watched the first couple episodes and then before I knew it, I'd watched a few more. And then before I knew it, I'd finished it. And overall, it's just a really, really well produced show. I think that the animation's great on it. The voice acting is really good. Kaylee Cuoco is really good as Harley. And then the dynamic between her and Lake Bell, who plays Poison Ivy, is really good. I think Alan Tudyk, as usual, does an amazing job as Clayface.
Okay.
Because, it's without giving it away, he's very much they play him very much as an actor, as Clayface.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great take.
Like a thespian.
Yeah, right. Very much as thespian, as Clayface. And it's one of those takes like, usually Clayface is either, a giant mud monster or he doesn't really have a personality. But this way they stick with, kind of the roots of, the Clayface being part of the theater or part of movies or whatever.
Right.
Which is great. Ron Funches as King Shark is awesome as well.
Yeah, I always love Ron Funches. I also always like Lake Bell because I was a big Children's Hospital fan and she was part of that. Yeah,
her very dry delivery is Poison Ivy. I found at first I was kind of like, I don't know about this, and then as time went on, I really found I really loved her character. And then rounding out, Tony Hale as Dr. Psycho, just being the ultimate douche that he plays, which is great. I mean, they delve a little bit into why he kind of is a jerk, but at the same time, he's a jerk for a reason, and it works with Tony Hale. Overall, it's a great. I mean, there's like little things like they have Diedrich Bader come back as Batman from Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
Which is nice. And Christopher Maloney as Jim Gordon's awesome as well.
Right.
So yeah, overall, like I said, for a show that I really didn't think I wanted, I really came to love it, and I'm hoping that we get a season 3, but so far they haven't announced anything yet.
What I like, and I haven't seen it either, but I've seen trailers and clips and stuff like that. And what I think is cool about it is DC does a lot of animation. It's some of my favorite animation always, but this show doesn't look like anything else. It doesn't look like Batman animated series, and it doesn't look like the DC, straight to video movies that are coming out and stuff. Like, it's got a unique look to it, which I think is cool, which to me is one of the strengths of the medium in general is I like that you can play around with stylization and people can look hyper realistic and not, and everything in between. And so I think that's one of my favorite things is when the first image or the first like clip of a show comes out and I can actually see what it's going to look like moving.
Yeah, the design, I like the designs. The character designs are really well done. They do a nice job of, it's not definitive. Like they take their, sometimes they take their take on the character, and I think that what they managed to do with the character design overall is really, really good. They do a really good job with that.
Cool.
Oh, and Frank, just September 18th, they officially renewed it for a third season. So it's definitely
they did.
Back. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's awesome. I had not heard that.
Cool.
Yeah, it started on DC Universe and now is on HBO Max. So you can watch the previous seasons on HBO Max, and that's where the third season will live.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's 2 seasons out already, right? Currently?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because they definitely leave you in a spot where you're like, oh, well, I definitely want to see what happens next, and I'm glad that we were able to.
Well, when I first saw the show, I was a little bit perturbed by the level of violence shown by DC characters. I didn't think they'd ever do that with DC characters.
Yeah, it's definitely not a show for kids at all.
Right.
It's definitely a show like for adults. But it's one of those, if you're an adult that enjoys the DCU in general, you'll really enjoy this show.
And I've only seen season 1. I haven't seen season 2. Or no, I've only seen part of season 1. I haven't seen all of season 1 yet, but I've seen a chunk of the show. And I'd say like it definitely has a vibe similar to Venture Brothers.
Yes.
So if Venture Brothers is your thing, then this will feel like a natural jump on for you.
Right.
Because it's definitely one of those things where, especially with the villains, we get a lot of villainy in it. And it's one of those things where, much like in Venture Brothers, where you have your top tier villains and then you have pretty much everybody else. This is a lot of characters that you know and love as everybody else.
Right.
They definitely are not treated as, not everyone is, like top of the food chain for villainy, which is cool.
And they try to show everyone's feelings.
There's that too.
Like it's a Venture Brothers thing too. Like you actually see what these people feel and care about.
Yeah.
Okay.
These people you would normally never think about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm amazed by how many times I hear that this show is really, really good and stuff. Because, yeah, Frank, I was like you, like, I can understand the justification for making it, but I was like, I don't know if I'm going to check this out. And then, like, slowly but surely, I was like, really, it's good? You think it's good?
Yeah.
And you think it's good? And you think it's good too? Like, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
I got to check this out.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Like I said, it was one of the things where I started to watch it, and before I knew I'd watched all of it, and really. I can't, now that there's season 3, I'm very excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. I know James Gunn will be excited because I remember he was tweeting about like, please give it a season 3. But the violent stuff, Tommy, that you were mentioning, like it does remind me a little bit like on Paul Dini's podcast I was listening, and he had Spike Brandt and I'm going to get his name wrong, Tony Schiavone. So they're the producers of like Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. They're journeymen at Warner Brothers. They been on 100 things, and they were talking about a bunch of shows that were in development at one point at Warner Brothers that never got made.
Okay.
And one of them Dini was talking about were like, I think it was him and I think like Lynn Naylor were developing a Harley Quinn and like a Harley and Ivy show for MTV at the time. It was supposed to be an animated thing, and they were saying as they were in development and going to like pitch meetings and stuff like that, like the notes they kept getting from MTV was push it farther. So they would go and do some work, and then they would make it like a little edgier and a little bit more extreme. And then they would go do another meeting and then be like, push it farther. And then they would do, rinse and repeat over and over again, push it farther, push it farther, push it farther. And then like nothing happened. I wish that there was some like concept art or something like that, like online that we could post. I've never seen anything for it. But I guess they must have liked the idea of it. I mean, my sense is that, some of that, not that Dini's involved with it, but just the sentiment alone. Like, let's push it. Let's push it as far as we can and not make it something expected,
Right.
No, they definitely did it with this show. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, sometimes it's played as shocking and sometimes it's played for fun. So
Tommy, I cut you off. So what was the show you were going to bring up?
Oh, it was one thing I think Clifton watched, which was Cleopatra in Space.
Yeah, I've seen a good chunk of that show too.
Yeah,
I've not seen all of this current season. It runs on Peacock for anyone who has Peacock, which I guess everyone does because there's a free version.
Yeah.
So anyone can watch it.
No, for that one, I was going to ask you more about that particular show because I didn't get the chance to watch it, and I know you did. So I just wanted what your opinion or take on it.
Yeah, it's another one. It's produced by DreamWorks. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's as good quality as the stuff they're doing for Netflix. It just happens to be on Peacock instead of Netflix.
Okay.
But it's based on a comic book that started out as a self-published web comic by Mike Mayhack called Cleopatra in Space. And when he had been doing that comic a while, he sold it to Scholastic. So then Scholastic started collecting what he had already published, plus putting out the new graphic novels each time he would make one. And he's been doing that book for 10 years at least, if not more.
Okay.
He's won, some of us, I know Zack has had a chance to meet him. We're at our local conventions as well as San Diego and stuff. He's a very nice guy. I like his work a lot. So if anyone wants to check out his art, he does these adorable watercolors of characters. I love his stuff.
His stuff is great.
And so Cleopatra in Space, the premise of it is that, back in whenever Cleopatra was, what was that, 60 BC, sometime back in the time of Julius Caesar, that we're following the actual Cleopatra in Egypt, and she gets sucked through a portal through pyramid magic into the future somewhere out in space. And so it's following her adventures where she's trying to get back home to ancient Egypt, but, just learning how to live as a teenage girl in the future when there's aliens and a robot armies trying to take over the galaxy. And so far it's been a lot of fun. The DreamWorks, the stuff they produce, the action's always good. It looks nice. I love the look and style of the show, and the voice performances are great.
Cool.
But yeah, that one just premiered. I think it went live at the same time that the Peacock streaming service went live. So back in the summer.
Yeah, July 15th is what.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
Another show that I forgot existed. That was one of those where, I own some of the books, and it was we heard it was in development,
right?
For years and years and years and years, and then suddenly it was out, and then before I knew it, it was it had been out for a year.
And
the second season was starting.
They announced it was getting a show, and then 2 days later it was on Netflix overseas. But then I guess NBC had picked up the rights here, or NBC, Comcast, Universal, whatever the company's called, and so it had to wait until Peacock launched for it here.
Yeah, I got to check it out.
But yeah, I definitely recommend it. It's a good all ages show. It's very fun, very energetic.
Cool.
It's well made. It's similar. If you like She-Ra, you'll like it.
Yeah, this is a recommendation show for me because there's a lot. Honestly, I thought we were gonna have more overlap so far than we have.
Right.
We really haven't. I'm gonna throw one out just for everyone to jump on. Who's watching Primal?
You read my mind, man.
Right. Going the other way. So we had all ages, and now we're going completely the opposite end.
It's a dramatic shift.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely watching Primal. Well, have you caught up and seen any of the current season?
No, the second half of season 1.
Yes.
Right. Primal's the Gendy Tartakovsky show. Kind of similar to the rollout to Cleopatra in space is kind of like we heard about it one day, and then 2 months later it came out.
Boom.
On TV. And so they ran five episodes in the first batch as kind of like a week-long event. They did a new one every day. I think I'm remembering. Was it every day or every week?
Every week.
I cannot remember how they ran that one.
I thought they did it every day
as
that
a
week.
Special.
Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter. So they did 5 episodes, and then we thought that was it, and then a couple of months later it was oh, there's more coming, and we're like, what?
Yeah,
they ended up running an episode on April Fool's Day as part of their Adult Swim April Fool's block, where they always run a surprise episode instead of whatever they're supposed to run. And it turned out to be episode 7, so they skipped over an episode and went to the second episode in the new set, but then eventually started airing the second half of season 1 in earnest.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Tommy, very, very long-winded. I've watched the first 5 of the original batch. I haven't started the new ones. They're on my DVR. I haven't gotten around to them yet.
Okay.
I've also only still seen the first half, the first 5, and not the newer episodes.
Okay. No, and going back, Zach, you're right. It was every day they showed the new episodes. Like, I think it was October 7th of 2019, in which they're so back to back to back to back to back episodes. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, and they even did some in theaters. There was some talk because they had done like a limited run in like in Los Angeles and I think in New York and stuff like that. There was some Oscar talk possibly that it could be eligible for Oscar runs just because it had been in a few theaters. Mm-hmm. But ultimately it was not nominated, so I guess it was disqualified. I didn't follow up on it too much, but to talk about the show actually a little bit. So it's basically it's a caveman.
Oh yeah.
It's a caveman who with a spear who's teaming up with a dinosaur, and they're sort of, navigating a prehistoric Earth that's, as dangerous as the title suggests.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as a grim, dark Flintstones reboot.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is some tongue-in-cheekness to it, but then there's some like brutal
gosh,
stuff to it too. The action is fantastic also. It's like, it's what you would expect from a Gendy show, having, if you're a Samurai Jack fan, very, very moody show, beautiful backgrounds, doesn't looks a touch like Symbionic Titan a little bit, like if you've familiar with that show, kind of the thick like character designy look, like the character designs themselves kind of look a little bit like Symbionic Titan, but the backgrounds look completely different. They look almost like watercolor.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And it's not a historically or scientifically accurate prehistoric world. We should point out. They're not going for the accuracy there. So there's a lot of horror elements. There's a lot of horrific creatures and things that you won't find at the Natural History Museum.
Right. Yeah. Thankfully.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
Right.
Yes.
What else is out there?
Be remiss if anyone brought up DuckTales.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. After that challenge we had not too long ago, I'm a full-fledged member and current watcher of DuckTales.
You probably ahead of some of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are, I'm sure. I'm certain you are. Almost there, though. Almost there. I'm like 3 episodes behind, so I'm getting there. And so I am watching this current season, which I'm liking. This show's like Cheers. Like it gets better as it goes,
Yeah.
What season are they on?
3rd.
This is season 3 now, so we're about in the midpoint of season 3. I would say.
Yeah, like it took a break and has come back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is any of season 3 on Disney Plus, or is it only just 1 and 2?
I think that's just 1 and 2.
Yeah, I think 1 and 2.
The Disney Now app has the current episodes, which you have access through your cable company.
Yeah.
I did see, and I sent this to our engineer actually like earlier in the week. They did, slight spoiler alert. They did have like a Darkwing Duck episode that they had as kind of like a special event deal and everything. And so Disney actually posted the full episode on YouTube, which I just tripped over, which I haven't watched yet, but it's not often that Disney like will put full episodes out there for like just everybody to see.
And it's a carry up from episodes they've done along the way for the show, where they've touched on the characters and the idea of Darkwing.
Very cool.
Yeah. Fun show. One of my favorite things. I love how the nephews all have distinct personalities.
Yeah.
Not saying I like their personalities. I'm just saying I like that they
They're good guys though. They're good guys.
They are deep down. Deep down. They all have some learning to do, which I like. I like that there's a lesson for each of them to learn, but it's not like clubbing you over the head with it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That Louis will sell you out though.
Yeah,
He'll sell you out for anything.
Oh,
Louis,
sure.
Yeah.
It is almost like a supervillain origin story when it comes to Louis.
Yeah.
Like
I like what I've seen so far, but I'm not anywhere near caught up. So
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Another show that also like the look does a lot. There's a lot of shows that just the look alone will sort of pull me in. Anybody watching Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
I've seen a good bit of it.
Okay, yeah, that's one to me. Like, that show runs very hot and cold for me, but like the look of it is it's just so beautiful. It's so cool
yeah, like
looking.
their style and colors, like their color choices, is definitely great.
And this is like a weird thing I do sometimes just for like inspiration. Like when something looks cool on the TV, I'll shut the light off and I'll get my phone out and I'll snap a couple pictures of it. And so like Clifton, I've sent you like pictures I know of like, look at this character design or look at this background. This looks really cool.
Yeah.
There's one of my favorites is an episode called Snow Day. And what's really cool about this one is, from an artistic perspective, like it starts in the day and they're in Central Park, like they're out in the open in Central Park, and it starts like during the day. And the color of the sky has got like that like kind of pinkish hue thing to it that you would see like, on a snow day when snow's about to come down and stuff. And I've never seen this in a show before where they'll go through, they transition into nighttime. So you actually get to like the sunset, right? Into the nighttime over the course of this 11-minute episode. Right. But they don't focus on it. Like it's just kind of happening in the background. And then before you know it, then like the color in the sky is different. It's kind of like this brownish orange that again kind of looks like snow's going to fall at any minute, in the winter at night. And it's just like, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. I don't remember anything about the episode. I just remember that. Like I'm just watching like, God, the background is so nice.
It had a pinkish hue.
Yeah.
The performances on the series are good though. You get like all the turtles are good. I'm drawing a blank on Michelangelo's name, but I like him a lot. He's always good in stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm blanking on his name too. He's really good. And what I like about this show also is the turtles read so young, like younger than any iteration of them before. I think like they actually feel like teenagers,
right
in this version.
And keeping April a teenager again, always is a good choice.
Yeah, it's a great choice. Yeah, and there's a lot more of a mystical element there. Like there's a cool like there's like a mystical like forbidden city that's like beneath New York.
Yeah, it's a different angle. It's definitely a different angle than you've seen in Turtles stuff before. That focuses on magic and yokai and ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
And John Cena. We get John Cena as a villain voice.
Oh yeah.
Right. For season 1. I think he left. I did trip over. I don't think he's come back to do it.
Did they have somebody else doing the same character?
It's somebody doing a John Cena.
Okay.
Is because like I'm being a wrestling fan, I'm like I noticed the difference. I'm like, is that him? Like that doesn't sound like him. Like
right.
But it is somebody doing like a good impression of him.
I think according to Wikipedia, it's Roger Craig Smith is the replacement for John Cena.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds right.
But going back to what Zach was saying, I think the voice of Mikey was Brandon Michael Smith, who also was a Disney kid at one point. I forget what he was on.
He's so good.
Yeah.
I was looking at Brandon Michael Smith he grew up, on Disney Channel. Tommy was right. Sonny with a Chance, So Random, Phil of the Future.
Yeah,
he was on with
that was the one.
Ali Michalka. And then more recently has been on non-Disney stuff like You Are the Worst, which I think Tommy's a fan of as well.
Oh, truly is.
He's a very good actor. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm. And he was on Hulu's, I think, Three Weddings and
Sweet Vicious.
Oh yeah, he was on. Yeah, he was on that. You're right. I forgot about that. He was also on Hulu's 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I go back and forth because the Nickelodeon, the 2012, the CGI one, which is a show I like a lot. I love Greg Sipes as Mikey in that too, and I go back and forth on this new guy and Greg Sipes like all the time now.
Yeah, so our Turtles cast is Ben Schwartz, Brandon Michael Smith. Ben Schwartz is Leo. Brandon Michael Smith is Mikey. Omar Benson Miller is Raph. Josh Brenner as Donnie, and Eric Bauza as Splinter.
Okay.
Yeah. Weird take on Splinter. Weird take. Yeah.
And Kat Graham is April O'Neil.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is they made each turtle a specific type of turtle. That I didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't make them all the same turtles.
Yeah,
like one's a soft shell. Is it Donnie's a soft shell?
Yeah, Donnie's a soft shell.
So he had to he created a hard shell to protect his soft shell.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely put some thought.
Yeah, I mean, so they definitely play with aspects of it, which I know takes some fans aback a bit, but it does make me feel that, like, I would have told you that the bow staff and the katana blades and the size and all that stuff was essential. And then when they changed it, I'm going like, oh, wow, like really, like the idea is more flexible than I think, which is cool.
So is Splinter younger too?
No, he's older. If anything, he's older.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
He plays him very old and chubby. He's like a Russian hamster rat.
I don't want to get into it too much because there is some reveals to who he is and stuff like that. Like that's another thing that they play with, and there is a serialized component to the show, but it takes a while to get there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it starts like almost the very last episode of the first season is when you start seeing like, oh, they've been kind of building up a little bit, like without me noticing some stuff.
So it's kind of like there's a fair amount of setup.
A fair amount, but it hides behind like this manic like zaniness.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's very like misdirection. Like you don't know, and then wait, okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
So, all right, Tommy. I know you got another one. So.
No, I was hoping you'd bring up Infinity Train, Zack. Oh my goodness.
You knew we would get to it soon enough.
Indeed.
At some point we would.
Indeed.
Yeah. We could do an entire episode on Infinity Train.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Easily. But yeah, so it's HBO Max now.
Yes.
Season 3 is available on HBO Max. I think you could still watch season 1 and 2 on the Cartoon Network app as well, but you can watch all 3 on HBO Max. And Tommy, you have the floor. I've spoken a lot about it already, so I'm going to pass it on to you.
Okay, no problem. I believe the show first started out as a pilot online in which everyone geeked out on for Cartoon Network. It just recently moved to HBO Max, but I'm trying to think the general premise of the show without revealing too much. But Infinity Train basically is a show about a person on a train. Oh no, a person with personal issues that mistakenly. A person on a train that tries to get off.
Bring it back. Go easier. Somebody's on a train with infinite number of cars.
Yes.
And then the other hook on it is that they have a glowing number on the palm of their hand that goes up or down.
Yes.
And they don't necessarily know why.
No, you're 100% correct.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the whole show is essentially figuring that part out.
Yes.
For the first season, at least.
Yeah, at least for the first season, at least.
Yeah.
And the first season focuses on Tulip, a girl struggling with her parents' recent divorce. And you see how she does that while stuck on the Infinity Train, so to speak.
Right.
And she comes into contact with various friends and people that help her along the way, trying to get off that train and back to her family. Yeah, at least that's what the first season is.
What's interesting for me, and you watch a lot more stuff than I do, Tommy, but like I've never had a show before make me feel in between seasons, like every time, like I have no idea where this is going to go now. This show does that to me. Like no other show before, live action animated ever.
Mm-hmm.
In all my years of watching TV, like it never ceases to get me to that point of like, I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen now.
Yeah. Yeah, the way they structure that storyline, it could take a left turn and you won't even know what the purpose is until after the episodes are completely finished. Or even it might be the next episode in which it comes to conclusion based upon what was created in that particular episode,
Right.
Yeah. Definitely a mystery series. I think, Frank, you would love it if you give it a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I think you would too, Frank.
No, I've heard good things. I'd like to check it out. I just haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah. It's created by Owen Dennis.
Yeah.
Yeah, who used to be a storyboard artist and writer on Regular Show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I liked Regular Show.
Yeah. But this ain't Regular Show.
It's a special show. It really is. It's great. It's great.
Okay.
It's a pretty fast watch too. It's like a couple more of the shows on this list. It's an 11-minute show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, so you can blow through them pretty quickly, but they feel long. Like they pack a lot of story into those 11 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. What else is out there? We're getting close to time, so we're gonna have to go quick on this last batch. But what else are you guys checking out?
I've brought it up before, but Hilda on Netflix is
okay.
a show that I like quite a bit. It's had one
Hilda.
season so far, and we've been in kind of a long hiatus, but season 2 is coming. It's based on a graphic novel series by, I believe the creator's name is Luke Pearson, if I'm remembering right. It's just about a little girl that lives in, kind of a semi-realistic, semi-fantasy world where she lives in a town, but there's lots of magical stuff that happens in the world around her. There's like giants and elves and trolls and stuff out in the woods beyond her town, but her town itself seems like a fairly normal little place until it's not. The voice actress, I'm drawing a blank on her name, but it's the actress who plays Lyanna Mormont on Game of Thrones.
Yes.
The young northern queen.
Yeah, Bella Ramsey is her name.
Bella Ramsey, that's correct. Yeah. And she's great because I didn't realize it was her when I watched season 1. I was like, this girl is so good, whoever this is. Like, this performance is so good. And then I found out it was her and realized, like, yeah, that totally makes sense because she's great on Game of Thrones too.
Yes.
And like her delivery is very matter of fact all the time. And it's just funny to see it compared to like the magical stuff she's around and the creatures she's interacting with. And she's just so like down to earth. And this is how it is.
Yes.
In her performances. Right. And it's just very charming. And I'm definitely looking forward to season 2 quite a bit. I've been waiting a little while for that one.
Yeah, my wife was watching that for a while. She watched most of it. I only saw a couple episodes. I don't know if she saw the whole first season, but what I saw I liked a lot too. I remember the one about the one about the weather? Like they were getting a snow day?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That one I liked a whole lot. I thought the idea of when she goes to confront what's going on with that situation, I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah, it's again like the show is beautifully designed. The animation is great.
Mm-hmm.
I like everything about the production. Theme songs by Grimes, I think.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix has got a lot of really great stuff. Netflix is becoming like a real heavy hitter for animation. I'm finding, at least in my experience, like I'm kind of checking them out more than I am Nickelodeon these days and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like we haven't brought up Dragon Prince. Dragon Prince is great show that apparently we have 4 more seasons coming.
Right.
Yeah,
we covered that one a lot in our San Diego coverage for San Diego Comic-Con at Home. If anyone wants to go back to that one, we do cover it a lot there. But it's a phenomenal show too.
Yeah.
It's a fantasy show. Some of the alumni worked on stuff like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Legend of Korra. Some of the showrunners were involved in those, and it carries on the epic fantasy tradition with good, solid characters that you love to watch and want to see more of in a compelling fantasy world. And yeah, I was very excited to hear that it got 4 more seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
Which will let them tell everything that they had in mind for the show. Like it's like their wish list of everything they wanted to tell, they'll be able to tell.
Yeah. Just so cool. Like it's so rare for a show to get to say that. Like we got exactly the order we wanted.
Yep.
For all the story we have. Yeah, it's for so sure. Cool. But yeah, so they got and they're running like a Transformers series called Siege, which I believe was actually like a web series also. So they might have acquired this, I think.
The War for Cybertron.
Yeah, the War for Cybertron trilogy. Like I'm surprised how much I like Siege. Like it's really well written. I think. And if you're a fan of Generation 1 Transformers, it definitely plays. It's essentially a prequel series. It's like it's the war on Cybertron before they take the Ark to Earth, before the pilot of the original 84, which is awesome. Frank, we talk about that all the time.
So it's like like the glimpse you get of the war on Cybertron of the very first episode of the very first original Transformers. It's like that.
Yeah.
But for seasons, for like 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Or will be. 1 season's out so far.
Yeah. So Bumblebee's that hover thing.
Yeah, Bumblebee's that little that yeah. I mean the exact design. Yeah, when he transforms, it's that weird like winged beetle.
Yes.
And Wheeljack is the same like boxy thing, and like Starscream is the like all the Seekers are like those triangle jet things and stuff. So it's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a neat looking show, I think. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm pleasantly surprised with it.
Ooh, can I add one more?
Yeah, go for it.
I think this year we saw the conclusion of Steven Universe Future,
which I've still not seen. I saw all of Steven Universe, but I've not yet watched Future.
It's a great conclusion to the overall theme and storyline to the show, in which virtually all loose threads are wrapped up in a way that is acceptable, that you won't, feel that they shortchanged you on what they brought up in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Steven Universe is so good. So I haven't seen Future yet either, but I'm in season 4 of Steven Universe now. My wife and I are watching. We love it. It's so great. Another one does a lot in 11 minutes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Does a whole lot in 11 minutes. Does anybody have like real quick, just like honorable mention, like anything still on their list that they want to get out?
I love the return of Archer.
Okay.
I know a lot of people here were a little bit tired of the last few seasons of it, but I think this new season that they aired this year. Oh, no one at all, Frank. No one at all.
Yes.
But I enjoyed it. It brings it back to what Archer used to be, but slightly different. Various people feel that there's certain things that they're hiding, which I hope they're wrong. But
right.
I'm holding on tight to that it's not what our engineer envisions it to be.
He's got some theories though.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Some fun theories for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah. You got anything else on your list, Tommy?
Midnight Gospel.
Okay.
I've not checked that one out either. That's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, it is.
Give us the rundown quick on that one. We may just have to do a second episode on this. Let's go have a few more too.
We didn't even
shockingly.
we didn't get to movies yet. That's how bad it is because so much stuff is currently out. But it was basically Pendleton Ward, from Adventure Time, created the Midnight Gospel, which aired on Netflix.
Okay.
It revolves around what's a guy called Clancy Gilroy, who's known as a space caster, which he's a podcaster, but he deals with other dimensional worlds that are going to die. I cannot really explain this show in like 2 seconds, because I was a bit weirded out by the darkness of it and the surrealness of it. It's Adventure Time, but without caring about kids like Adventure Time cared about kids watching it. Yeah, it's interesting what they bring to you, and like every world he visits, which he's a podcaster, is an apocalyptic world event that's occurring on them. So he's talking to somebody about said world through their perspective. I mean, it's more than that, but it's just, it's so surreal.
Right.
Yeah.
God, there's a lot of cool stuff out there.
Yeah. but the voice casting in that one is wild. Yeah.
I still have like Carmen Sandiego. It's also on Netflix. Another like really beautiful show. Like a lot more kid friendly. Like, I mean, there is like an educational aspect where they are trying to like teach you a little bit about like, like what Guatemala
like
exports and
world
stuff.
Capitals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is a gorgeous looking show.
Right.
Very vibrant.
So cool. two characters on there like get on my nerves, and I really wish that they would write out. But there's a fun like mythology and world building that they attach to it. And it's kind of heisty, and I'm a sucker for heist movie stuff. The Owl House on Disney is another one that is starting to, I think, hit a stride. It's starting to get really, really good. Like Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like the world building is in serial aspects are starting to build on itself now, and it's like we're starting to get into the meat of things. Really, really good. I wish only because it is kind of like it was sold to me as kind of like Disney trying to do like a very kid friendly like horror show.
Okay,
and it's not that at all. But in that being in part of my expectations, it made me go like, I really wish that there was some more like I wish it was a moodier show. I wish that there was more interesting lighting and stuff like that. Like, which I talk about Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated all the time, but like the look of that show is so unbelievable as far as like the mood that it gives you when they walk into a room, and it is actually spooky, even though it's, a kid's show.
Right.
Owl House is really cool. And, and I don't know what to call it at this point, but, Young Justice Outsiders / Phantoms, because Phantoms is going to be season 4.
Right.
But
coming to HBO Max.
Yeah.
And the previous seasons you'll be able to see on HBO Max probably already now.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that segues kind of perfectly to how I wanted to end the show, which is, so what's out there or what's coming in the way of animation that we're excited about. And so I think Young Justice is kind of a perfect thing for me. Season 4, really, really cool. I'm excited. Some stuff happened in season 3 that I can't wait to see what they're going to do. So
I'm excited about the fact that they introduced Legion finally.
There you go. I was dancing around it, but you just said it. So
yeah, I'm excited about that. That was one of the few. I mean, I've talked a little bit about Young Justice and how I felt about the last couple seasons, but that aspect I'm very excited for. So, yay on that.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the first MCU foray into animation, which will be What If on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Which I think we're still scheduled to get in sometime in 2021. A lot of stuff has been delayed, of course, but animation overall seems to be something that's been able to keep on trucking through production. A lot of remote work. And so What If might still be on track for when we're supposed to get it sometime next year. I think it'll be fun to see. I mean, just in case you're not familiar with the What If comic book from Marvel Comics, it was a comic book where they would take pivotal moments from stories throughout their comic book history and then just say, like, what if something else happened?
Yes.
That, like, what if, like a sort of a modern example I would always use because we've seen is like, what if Gwen Stacy got bit by a radioactive spider instead of Spider-Man?
Right, exactly.
Something like that. And then you can see like cool stories can come out of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And so this one is going to be doing a lot of pivotal moments from the movies to be like, what if something in this movie went different and went a different way? So we're seeing, I think they're doing like I can't remember, but I think they're doing Agent Carter as Captain America type character.
That's supposed to be like either the first couple or the first one is supposed to be that one.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I love Haley Atwell, so anything more with her and that character, because a lot of the actors and actresses, a lot of the original performers are coming back to do the voices for the characters in the animation.
Another one I think they showed that they teased when they showed the trailer was it's a what if T'Challa had been taken by basically become part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a child was taken.
Yeah, that's right. What if T'Challa is Star-Lord?
Right, exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Which looks fantastic as well. But I'm also excited about the fact that they chose Jeffrey Wright as Uatu, as the Watcher.
Right.
Because from the comic, Uatu is the one that basically sets up the framing narrative for the episode.
Right.
So I think he's a really, really good choice for that as well.
Yeah.
And we got a glimpse of the Watchers once in a cameo, in a Stan Lee cameo in one of the movies.
We did. You're right.
So they're the big-headed bald guys on the moon.
Yep. They're just supposed to observe. That's all they're supposed to do. And show up when something major is about to happen in the Marvel Universe.
Tommy, what about you? That's a good one, Clifton. That's a really good one, though. Another one, again, keep forgetting it's coming out, but yeah, it's going to be so much fun when it's actually out.
Invincible.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure.
That trailer on Amazon. Oh, I can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which we covered in an extra.
Yep.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah, we have a little short episode on our reaction to the trailer, which you guys can check out.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that one. It's a fan of the comic and Kirkman in general. I'm very excited for Invincible.
I lost track. Frank, did you go yet?
No, thank you. I've not gone yet. Mine is actually 2 that were announced. I think it was during Fandom, the second part of the Fandom stuff. I was very excited for. Mm-hmm. One is the JSA World War II animated.
Yeah.
Other than a few like cameo pieces here and there, and some characters that made it into Brave and the Bold, the animated there. I'm just, I'm still astonished that it's just now before we get a JSA movie. So that I hope is, they go all out for it and they basically include every character they possibly can in it. Mm-hmm. I love the JSA. And then the other one that I'm super excited for is Batman Soul of the Dragon.
Yeah. Me too.
It's one of those I was biting my tongue when you were going, Zach, because I thought for sure that was what you were going to choose. But Soul of the Dragon.
No, I have a list. I have a list that I'm just going to blow through.
Okay. But yeah, Soul of the Dragon, if you don't know, is Batman and Lady Shiva and Richard Dragon and Bronze Tiger, right? Is anybody else? Or is that the foursome?
No, that's the 4 of them, and they're up against like Cobra.
Yes, not the Ruthless Terrorist Organization determined to rule the world. DC's Cobra.
Yeah, Cobra with a K. The other Ruthless Terrorist Organization determined to rule the world.
Right, exactly. But it's also, but oddly enough, that Cobra has a twin brother like Tomax and Zaymot that sort of feels pain. I'm not joking. There's an actual thing in the first, like when he had his solo series back in the 70s, there's a cover or a bit where it's like, same thing with Tomax and Zaymot where they're like, oh my God, you get punched in the face and then I feel it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for that because it's a little bit of, Batman 70s, martial arts stuff, as well as the fact that it has a feel of almost like basically like a tournament of all of them, kind of who's the best fighter out of all those 4, which should be really interesting to see.
Yeah. I'm excited for all of the DC animated movies that are still coming out and everything. So yeah, Soul of the Dragon is supposed to be the first one next year. Then the JSA World War II one, and then the third one for that year is supposed to be Long Halloween, which is going to be a 2-part movie. So I don't know if we're getting part 1 and part 2 in the fall, or if the second part will be in 2022. But yeah, super excited for all those. Young Justice, like I said, Animaniacs on Hulu coming out. I find myself looking forward to that. Soul getting released on Disney Plus, I think really looks great. And then a trailer came out for a new Walt Disney movie that's going to come out in 2021 called Raya and the Last Dragon, which that trailer absolutely blew me away.
It looks really good.
Like I think it looks really so awesome. We'll post it on letmeknowhowitis.com for you guys, along with other clips and trailers and whatever we can find for some of the other shows if you guys want to check it out. And then just yesterday, from the day we're recording, it was announced that HBO Max is going to relaunch Tiny Toon Adventures, which for me, when Animaniacs happened, I was like, well, Tiny Toons isn't far off, but I didn't think it was going to be before Animaniacs came out that we would get it announced. Yeah. And then they also announced that Genndy Tartakovsky is doing another show called Unicorn Eternal Warriors, which there's like only one still of, like a promo art for. And, I'll watch anything he puts out. So I love animation, as you guys can tell. So it's what I live for. So there's a lot coming out, which is really cool. There's a boom coming with the fact that it's really the only thing that can get made, in the current climate. So, but yeah, all good picks, everybody. So I know you guys out there have some opinions, so we want to hear them in the comments. What animation are you watching and loving right now, or what are you excited about, and tell us why. Don't forget to suggest a topic while you're there. You can find links and examples to everything we talk about on letmeknowhowitis.com. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help the channel to grow. And finally, don't forget to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/letmeknowhowitis. And follow us on Twitter at our show's initials, LMKHII. Thanks for listening. See you next week.